What's up? What's up? What's up? We back. We back again for another year. Welcome to Wild Picks with Wild Wayne GSPN. What's going on, my guy?
Man, we are back and in full effect, man. Can you believe it, bruh? We are 25 days away from kickoff down there in Atlanta with Norfolk State and FAMU, man. We almost there.
I feel like I can taste it. I feel like I can taste it. I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm ready for the trash talk. I'm ready for everybody. Everybody in their picks and they all to come crashing down. That's why we do this show. And I gotta thank you. We've been doing this show. People been asking Wayne. They've been asking about Wayne and his picks. So we had to do it again this year.
Yes, sir, man. And I'm just gonna tell everybody. I know everybody when some of you been watching my 10 minutes. I talked about how I was on media day. I know people they went crazy about who was picked where, this kind of stuff, that kind of stuff. First of all, man, the coaches did the picks. The coaches did the voting. They did all of that. So if they didn't pick your team as high as you think your team is going to be, like, hey, it's up to your team to prove it. Because your team saw the same things that all of us saw. And even the same stuff that me and you say tonight. If y'all disagree with what we say, it's up to your team to prove us wrong.
Right. And I see a lot of people saying, oh, we're going to take this as motivation. My team will take this motivation. But I say this, Wayne. If you have to wait for media day to give motivation, I think you'll step behind anyway. If you wait on media day to give any added motivation, I think you'll step behind anyway.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. They didn't pick my guy to be on first team. Right. Guess what? It don't matter about preseason first team. You want to be on postseason first team, man.
So if they would have picked him, you mean he would have had less of an edge, chip on his shoulder? I'm kind of worried about that anyway, if that's what you're saying.
Exactly. But, the one thing that I laughed at, though, where you really can't take this thing completely serious is how they put Jace Wilson on the second team quarterback, but then picked Texas Southern to be last in the West. So I'm so you got the guy, you saying he the second best quarterback in the league, but then you saying the team is last. So if he's going to be the second best quarterback in the league, don't you think he would improve them to be bigger and better than last? So that's why you can't take none of that stuff serious, man. It's about the games on the field that matter. And tonight, we're going to talk about everybody's schedule. We're going to be exhaustive. We're going to tell you about some of the key players. And, man, at the end of the night, hey, we're going to let the chips fall where they may.
We're gonna give y'all our opinions. You can squabble, and we know y'all gonna squabble in the comments. I done seen it already before the show started. We know y'all gonna squabble because I know y'all know it all. Okay, y'all know everything. So so go ahead and squabble in the comments. But we're gonna give y'all our thoughts. Give me your thoughts before we give me your thoughts overall on Media Day.
Yeah. So all right. So with Media Day, I really think that they've done a really good job in terms of just setting up a good production. It looks very professional, sending the players down there to represent, the coaches talking. I thought it was really good. Now, the coaches, nobody really said anything that was bulletin board material. They just kept it real business, things like that. So I thought that was great. Now, in terms of just like the way the presence of the SWAC is as a whole, I do believe, and I know that we have some ways to go in terms of the way we have our coverage in terms of our games and the quality of our games, the quality of our announcing, the commentary, all that. But I just thought, all in all, I thought it was a great day. I thought it was a great show, and I think it's something that we can build on in terms of excitement. So, yeah, man.
Yes, sir. I feel about the same way. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so
here we go. My man, Wild Wayne.
Here we go.
You're gonna start. I'm gonna piggyback off your opinions on it. So let's get it started. So, that's what they come here for. Let's do it.
All right. So here are the keys to winning the East. All right, winning both divisions. First off, if you can win all your conference home games, that is a major plus for you. All right. Now, in the East, you got to go at least 2-1 or 3-0 against the West. You cannot, even if you won all your games inside your division, if you don't get your work done against the West, everything you did in division is going to be totally offset.
Yep.
So you got to go at least 2-1 or 3-0 against the West. Now, the round robin between what is considered to be the top 4 teams. Now, when you're playing this, you need to win at least 2 of these. It doesn't matter if you're playing them home, road, or neutral. You got to win at least 2 of these. And then lastly, in the East, consistency at quarterback. Now, we'll talk about Andrew Body. We'll talk about Jacoby and Morgan. We'll talk about what's going on at FAMU and what's going on at A&M. You'll figure that out. But consistency at quarterback, that is going to be the success that goes with the formula of the round robin and also what you do against the West. Now, switching it to the West, same thing. You got to win all your home games. Got to win them all in conference. It is what it is. And then likewise, you got to go at least 2-1 against the East. Okay. And then this round robin, which is a dogfight year after year between PV, Alcorn, Grambling, and Southern. Right? If you can win all 3 of these games, you probably are going to go to the SWAC championship game.
Yep.
Now, you need to win at least 2 of them, but if you can win all 3, you're probably going to get out of the West. And then I say the rushing attack, because running has been kind of the theme of the SWAC over the last few years. Okay. The teams that run the ball the best generally have been the ones that have had the chance to get not just out of the divisions and not just win their division, but also get to Atlanta. And I think with the West, I think rushing attack is where it's at, because I think some of your better quarterback play may come out of the West.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I agree. I think running the ball, we got a lot of running backs we got to replace on their West side. So I think just like I can start at Alcorn, we got a NFL back right now that we got to replace. So I think just getting that rushing attack back is gonna help us out and help everybody in the West. PV got a really good running game they had last year. Let's see if they can bring that back. Southern is known for their running game. Grambling lost two of the top, 2 really good running backs in the SWAC. So that's gonna be big. Texas Southern lost the best rusher in the SWAC, but Darius Owens. So
yep,
who can get that running back room and rushing game going, and maybe not just as a running back, maybe the quarterback too. Who can get quarterback helping out? Like I go back to Alcorn this year, we probably will have a dual threat quarterback, so they can help us in a rushing attack as well. Getting over Jordan and Howard, and just like some other schools. So I agree with you. That rushing attack can be pivotal. Who can rush the ball, and also quarterback play. I think we got question marks at quarterback. Everybody except Grambling. I think Grambling kind of has theirs solidified, but even with Grambling, I don't know if Dooley normally has dual threat quarterbacks that can move. So even the fit at Grambling may be a question.
Correct.
If you look at in his past, they've always been. He hasn't really done it with pocket passes. So that may be a question mark. How will that go? So it's gonna be interesting to see who handles their quarterback situation, just offensively, the quarterback situation and rushing the ball best.
Yeah, man. And I just say that these round robins, I just say that, with the mixture of you're playing some of these teams on the road, you're playing some of them at home, some of them are neutral. Yeah. I mean, that's the key. You got to take care of your business. That's just the biggest thing. So, yeah, those are the keys that I see.
Yep. Let's go to the next one.
All right. Now, things that must improve in this league. Okay. Now, we talked about quarterback play. Now, quarterback play, the last guy not named Shadur to throw over 3,000 yards was Aquil Glass in 2021. He actually did it twice. Before Aquil Glass, you got to go back over a decade before somebody threw over 3,000 yards. Now, last year, Jeremy Musa got close. Yeah. He was in the 2,900s. He got close. But quarterback play as a whole, in terms of decision making, right? Also, we gotta have some consistency in terms of completion percentage. Got a lot of guys that are completing, in the 50 percentile of passes. That's got to come up a lot actually. So QB play, and then no 1,000-yard receivers last year.
Yeah,
right. Not one. Keyshawn Johnson of Alabama State. He since transferred to Western Kentucky. He had 819. He was the leader. And then look at the next best, man. That's a huge drop off. So, let's see if we can get better with receiving. I mean, I believe if QB play is good, that 1K receiver might be in play. Here's another one that really surprised and may surprise everybody. Ladarius Owens at 1370. He was the only back that had over 1,000 yards last year. Okay, Jarvion Howard was the next best that had that 865. And that was a hard 865.
Hard 865. Tough
865. So, there's a lot of running. Now something that contributes to this as well, and I think it needs to be said with running. There are a lot of teams that don't have one feature back. Like Ladarius Owens, he was a featured back. He basically was 3 downs and he was the guy. You got a lot of teams that have multiple running backs, like FAMU runs out Yant and Dean, you know what I'm saying? And then you look at Jackson State with Moultrie and my man Irv. But 1,000 yards rushing, that would be good to see. Offensive lines, man, this is something that just drives everybody nuts. There's way too many false starts and way too many holding penalties. Now, about the false starts, the part about false starts that really upsets everybody. Now, I can see week 1 and week 2 when you're trying to get your rhythm, but there's way too many pre-snap penalties, even when you like 8, 9, 10 games into the season, man. That's got to be better. And then also holding penalties.
Yeah.
That's got to be better. And a lot of that holding, that comes down to technique, man. Moving your feet. Secondaries. These are some other things we got to look at. 4 interceptions led the league last year. There's some good secondaries out here. There's some really good secondary players. But, interceptions, that's something that everybody might want to see go up. And then lastly, kicking. The kicking game, man. You guys got a really good kicker, Noah Kiani. Very good kicker.
Shout out to Noah.
Shout out to Noah. Gillis of FAMU, another really good kicker.
Yeah.
I'll even maybe even put my guy at Southern in the mix.
Yeah.
Made that long 54-yarder against Texas Southern last year.
Southern always got good special team kickers. Shout out to them down there. They're gonna keep a good special team unit.
Yeah, but outside of the guys that we mentioned, this has to come up.
Yeah.
So your thoughts, brother?
And I think a lot of it. I've seen some teams last year use the same kicker and punter. I think that's a lot of kicking on one leg for certain kickers. That's a lot of kicking for one kid to do. And so a lot of times I see these kickers kind of wear out. Because I know last year, Noah did good this year. Noah Kiani, our kicker did good this year. But last year, he was punting for us and kicking for us, and it was a debacle. Okay, it was bad. And we got him some help. He looked better in the kicking game. So I think that'll help. I agree too, offensive line play. I think a lot of it is just being in shape. A lot of it is being in shape towards the end of the year. I think a lot of holding penalties come from just being out of shape. And then, like you said, the rushing attack we talked about that and 1,000-yard receivers. I think that should come up, but it all depends on the quarterback play. So it all depends on the quarterback play. But if I don't mind being under 3K passing their quarterback if we got a good running game. If we got a really good running game, I don't mind it being up under 3K passing, but we're gonna need a really good running game to go with it. So I just think a little balance.
Yeah, and then people say the refs. I seen that up in the comments. Well, hey, the refs are the refs, man.
But I think when we talk about refereeing, I think refereeing it's hard all around. It ain't. I don't think it's just a SWAC thing. I think it's been tough all around. NFL, they complaining, and I think it's tough. It's a tough job, but I think it's tough all around. I don't think nobody's just horribly in a SWAC. It ain't just a SWAC thing where they just horrible. Oh, they just suck. Because a lot of these games we complain about, they get refs from other conferences to come ref the games. Like the Celebration Bowl. I'm at the Celebration Bowl. The refs weren't SWAC refs. They complaining about the refs like these aren't SWAC refs. The SWAC refs suck. they're not even from the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? So
They weren't, man.
they're not even from the SWAC, and they're like, the
They were
SWAC
from
refs suck.
those guys in the Celebration Bowl were from the Mid-American Conference up here in my neck of the woods.
Right.
So, but yeah, man. So those areas that must improve, and you know, I think if your team can see some of this stuff, improvement for your team will probably have a good year.
Yep. Let's go to the.
All right.
Let's get to the East.
Yes. So we're gonna start with the East. Last year I started with the West, and I'm gonna start with the East. Okay, now something that I will say that I added this year is an element. All right, I added best case and worst case scenario. Okay, for your teams. All right, let's go. All right.
The Delta Devils.
Yep. Shout out to Valley. Last year
they got a new turf and a new jumbotron. So shout out to them down there. Shout out to Valley.
Yeah, and then they got the Vampire in Brooklyn logo.
Yeah, new logo. Yeah.
Shout out to y'all, Valley, doing big things. Last year they won one game. They won that game against UAPB. This year, I kind of see them doing some things. Hopefully, maybe. I just say, how can you create some possibilities for the future, man? Now, to Jarian, very big physical guy at quarterback. The assumption is that he probably may be the guy who comes back as a starter. They also got a guy who transferred in from Norfolk State.
Yeah.
But one thing about Valley is they will play hard. They will give you their best. And sometimes you just might see them beat somebody that you like, how in the hell did that happen? Like a couple years ago, they got us. They got PV.
Yeah, they got PV.
So you definitely got some things out here that you have to be careful of when you play. But when you play the Delta Devils, man. Now they start off. This is a really, really cruel schedule.
That's bad. That's bad even for Valley.
I mean, Tennessee State, Lamar, Murray State, Nichols is picked to win the Southland. And then the first conference game is against you guys.
Yeah, and that's an L. Big L. I see my man in the comments. It's an L.
So my best case for them, I mean, I have them at 1-11. I have them winning the Pine Bluff game on the road. Worst case, man, they could go over.
Yeah. Whew.
That's the worst case. They could go over. But best case, I mean, I see them Pine Bluff. And maybe because they play Bethune-Cookman at home, we'll see. And also at the end, I have to say this. Sorry to cover your ears, Alabama A&M fans. But let's say we're having a real crummy year. And we come in there, we're not doing anything, and people mail it in and just say, forget it. I don't want to be here.
Yeah. That was my thoughts too when I saw that.
Yeah. And we have to be for real. We are for real. We are not being biased tonight. So I have them at 1-11 this year.
Yeah.
I don't see them going over, even though that is the worst case.
Yeah, I agree with that. I got them about one win. I wanted to go over, but I'm like, one win, possibly two. Like you said, in Alabama A&M, if everybody check out, and it is a home game, and anything can happen at the end of the year when teams know they're out of the hunt. Anything can happen. So I can kind of see that game. But other than that, maybe Pine Bluff. I can't muster up. I can't muster up anything past Pine Bluff. And maybe
this is a brutal. I mean, this is a brutal schedule.
That last four: Prairie View, Jackson State, Florida, and that's a tough Final Four. Well, before A&M, but that's a tough stretch. That's a real tough stretch. So I can't see them. I can't see it just yet for Valley. Not just yet. Yet.
Shout out to Kendrick Wade. Got a real good attitude. You. But my questions: how do you create possibilities for the future?
Yeah.
Because I know people down there. You're doing some things with the facility. You're improving things. But now, how does that translate into possibilities on the field into the future?
Yep.
So that's Valley. Shout out to Valley.
Next up,
we got those Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Now, before anybody trips out and sees the 3-9, you can look on the best case and the worst case. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want an enigma team in the league, you are looking at it. They brought guys in from the transfer portal. And again, A&M fans, cover your ears. we went down there last year, next to last game, and they put 412 yards rushing on us. And that was another one of those, how in the hell did that happen game? Okay. Yeah. Now, they start out hard. You know, South Florida, Mercer is a very good team out of the SoCon. You know, at Western Michigan, then, you know, Clark Atlanta will give you that one. You'll definitely get that one. You know, but they've got some games here where, you know, Alabama State going down there, they could put some fear into those guys. Coming to play at our guys on homecoming. They could put some fear into us there. Jackson State, remember, they pushed Jackson State to the brink last year.
Yeah.
You know, Grambling coming down there. That's another question. Remember, Grambling 2 years ago, 34 or 36-19, lost down there. Okay, so, you know, they pushed Southern last year. Remember, they played them in Jacksonville. They pushed them.
Yeah, they should have won that game. I was rooting for y'all, BCU. Y'all let me down. Y'all know I love to see Southern lose, and y'all let me down.
So, where I am, you're right. They also had 5 timeouts. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so best case for them is 6-6. Okay, they could really do some things. Now, my questions are: what kind of steps can they take forward? Though they did things in the portal. Now, can you find a quarterback? Remember, they played 4 guys at quarterback last year.
Yeah,
they had Luke Sprague, they had Simmons. You know, had a couple other guys. Can you find your quarterback? And then the other thing, can you find ways to finish the games that they lost that were close? They had leads and they had chances late and they couldn't finish.
Yeah.
So this is a team. Yes, I put them at 3-9. You know, and I really see them possibly being 4-8, 5-7, best case 6-6. This is a dangerous team that will compete week in and week out.
Yeah, this was my sleeper team of the year. I thought they did a really good job of recruiting. I thought they weren't far last year. Had a really good defense. I thought they weren't too far. They just couldn't close. And like you said, I think the quarterback gonna be big for them. What they do with the quarterback position. But I think it's gonna be my sleeper team. So I had them about 5-7. I think going to Florida, I think it's gonna be a tough road trip. I think it's gonna be a tough road trip for, like you said, Alabama State got to go down there. Jackson got to go. Grambling. I think that's a tough road trip. You go down there without your chin strap buckle, you know, you might come out over the L. I think they're still going to have some more growing pains. I don't think they're there just yet, but they are my sleeper team. I can see them knocking off somebody and ruining somebody's season. I can see they got a lot of talent. I love the coaching staff. A lot of depth as well. They brought back a lot of depth of some young guys that got some playing time last year through, and they lost, but they got a lot of playing time last year. They brought in some reinforcements, some transfers to help them out. So I think that'll help them out depth-wise. I think a lot of times teams lose because of depth. I know a lot of people talk about talent, but depth is important. I think they'll have better depth this year. But I don't know if they'll be able to just jump over that edge just this year. But I think they're gonna scare a lot of people and they maybe spoil 1 or 2. So I got them about 5-7. I definitely got them beating Southern. And I'm just gonna say that I got them beating Southern. I got them beating Southern. Okay, and maybe 1 or 2 more. So I got them about 5-7.
All right, but yeah, Bethune-Cookman, they gonna do some things moving ahead, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bethune-Cookman, Coach Woody, doing good things.
He's doing a good job. I think they're about a year away. Next, your Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Now,
yep.
But before y'all start, give my guy a break now. Don't give my guy a break now. Give my guy a break.
Yes, please. And even Alabama A&M fans, I know a lot of y'all be, what are you doing? But here's me. I'm Mr. Non-Biased and I'm Mr. Realistic. Okay, now, First off, everybody thought that Maynard was going to get the axe during the offseason. And the question is, is this it for him? You know how they said Custer's last stand? Is this the last stand? So we've got questions at quarterback. We brought in Avion Smith. He played at Miami of Ohio. He actually won the MAC championship game with them over Toledo. He transfers in. He's more of a runner than a passer. We also have a new defensive coordinator. So there's different things and different questions that we have. Now, the strength of our team, we're going to have a real strong offensive line. This is one of the better offensive lines that we've had in a while. Carson Vinson is being mentioned as a draft pick. Okay. We've also got a couple guys who come in. We got Richardson, who's out of high school. He's a big kid, real big kid. And then we got Terrell Lawrence, who transferred in from Minnesota. So we've got some guys on the offense. Offensively, I feel real good about us if we find our quarterback. We've got some real good receivers. Hewitt, real good receivers. We're looking for Keenan Hambrick to take a step forward this year. We also got, we got the transfer from UT Martin, DJ Nelson, big kid. Okay, we got real good guys on offense. But my question for us is defense. What do we have on defense? Amari Pate is a very good defensive back. Right? He was all conference last year. He's preseason all conference this year. But we need to find our guys on defense. Now, as you go through the schedule, we're gonna take a good whooping when we go down there on the plains on August 31st. Get that check, come out healthy. Kentucky State, get healthy. Now, I had a kid, it's kind of funny, a kid from Georgetown College that's from up here in Columbus. I was at my oldest daughter's track practice, and he was out there working out, and he saw me with an A&M hat on. And he says, "We gonna whoop y'all." And I'm like, man, NAIA team, really? Okay. All right, cool. But as you look through, man, I'll just summarize this whole thing as this for y'all. I think that we've got some real good things working on offense, but I don't know what we can be on defense. We need to see it. And because of that, our three toughest games, I just can't see us winning them right now. That's why you see at Florida A&M, Jackson State, and Alabama State in the Classic as losses. I do see us beating everybody else, and I see us coming up with a 7-5. Our best case, I see it as being 8-4, but worst case, man, struggle at quarterback. Have some injuries, there. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our running game with Eaglin and Ryan Morrow. We got our whole running back room back from last year. So, but with all things said, I do see us getting a winning record, but I just kind of see that being middle of the pack for us. I don't see us really being able to contend in the East like some people think we will. Now, maybe we get better, maybe we grow, and we turn this thing into something great. But right now, as I see it, I just see it as a 7-5 and maybe even a 6-6, because that Southern or Grambling, that could go either way. Both could go either way. So, but I see us being 7-5, man.
Gotcha. I had it about 5-7, a little bit down, 5-7, a couple swing games. So my question is, like you said, defense. Like you said, I love Hambrick. I love DJ Nelson. I wanted I'm gonna say this, I wanted Smith at quarterback, right? Coming into the offseason before our last quarterback coach left, I sent him to our last quarterback coach, right? And I'm like, hey, check this guy out. So we liked him, and we didn't move on it. And we ended up getting him. I wanted him to come in and be that veteran quarterback for us. I really like that kid. And then, like you said, your running back room is back. I agree with the offensive line. I'm just like you. Defense is my question mark. What are they going to do there? And also just the moxie of the team if things start to fall off, right? It's a lot of rumors swirling. What happens if this team goes and loses to a Bethune-Cookman and after losing to Jackson State and Florida A&M? Do they fall off? Do they make a coaching change mid-year? What does that's what I'm looking at with A&M. It's a lot of unknown, and if they do start to lose, how does it look? And can Maynard rally the troops? Because a lot of people talking that can Maynard rally the troops. So, do you think with a 7-5 record, does that get Maynard extension? What you think?
So the question is how does this 7-5 look? I mean, if what we have on the screen, if this is how it plays out, like, did they compete? Did they compete in the games that they lost? Because what really has plagued his coaching tenure is hasn't been able to beat the FAMUs, the Jackson States, and the last few years has been Alabama State to that list. So it's been like, you haven't been able to beat the teams that we need to beat. And so looking at this, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just say that he knows he needs to win.
Yeah.
And maybe back against the wall, maybe just with that feeling, maybe that leads to bigger returns. But we will see.
Because I know how y'all take that MCC, and I don't know how the Bulldog Nation gonna take another MCC loss. I just don't know how good they.
They won't be happy about that.
They ain't gonna sit too well.
No,
with Jen and the crew, that ain't gonna sit too well with Jen and the crew. That ain't gonna sit too well.
But one thing y'all can't accuse me of, you can't never accuse me of being a biased Bulldog. Never. I keep it real.
Let's go next up. Jackson
All right.
State. All
right, Jackson State people. Here we go.
Here we go. Go ahead.
All right, y'all. Y'all asked for it. Here it is. All right. Last year I had y'all at 8-3, and you almost got there at 8-3, but then
big bad brains, you know what I'm saying? Big bad brains. Woo!
So you were 7-4 last year. All right. Now you look at the schedule. You got those 2 non-conference games there. I would love to see this game, see y'all playing Southern as a conference game in the future. I'd love to see it as a permanent crossover. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. But anyhow, you got a pretty good schedule in front of you. Very full of challenges and potential pitfalls. Now, my questions. All right. We know that people are saying it's Morgan, but I've been hearing and people been hearing about McCoy. So who's the guy at QB? If it's Morgan, is he that guy? Also, can you keep Mulligan healthy? Remember, he only played 8 games last year. When he is healthy, definitely makes a big difference in the way that they do things.
Huge.
He is a guy that you can ride, right? Then passing game. That was a question last year. Now I say with the efficiency, can you be consistent in the passing game? Now, offensive line is a big one. They got a really big offensive line, man. Kurt Ford, Evan Henry, Blue. These are some big guys and guys who have played a lot of good games and have a lot of experience. So that offensive line will be stout and will be something that you can run with. Okay. Now, also with Mulligan, also Desmond Moultrie. He's a guy that will probably he'll be heard from as well. Okay, so running game is going to be there. Offensive line is going to be there, but it's about your passing game efficiency. And then lastly, can you carry over that defensive effort that you had from last year? Asias Guthrie, solid ball hawk. You guys got some guys on that defensive line. You guys are going to be able to get after rush the passer, but can you carry that effort over from last year to this year? Here's the thing, man. This is going to be really, really, really tough because when you look down this schedule, there's some games here where I say your best case, you can go 10-2. I really believe that. I think this could be a 10-win football team, but also on the worst case, in the case of what we said on the previous slide, if some of these games that are early, if they don't go your way, what's the psyche of the team?
Yeah.
Also, the fan pressure. If things don't go the way you want it, how is that going to turn out? Okay, now I look down here. I think that they're going to beat FAMU at home. FAMU comes there, down there to the vet. I think they're going to get FAMU. I'm so looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to us getting on that week of that game and we do some picking and talk about that game. It's going to be a good one. Okay. Watch out for Bethune-Cookman. We said that early.
Yeah.
But then the games. Go ahead.
I just said going to Bethune-Cookman going to be tough.
Yeah. And then the games at the end. You got a road trip to Montgomery and then you go down there on the reservation. You know, so I've got them going out, getting on a run, getting on a heater there midway. But then down the stretch, I think the 2 road games at the end, I think it might be a little bit of a tough road to get through for these guys. I have them at 9-3 and a solid 6-2 in the league.
I'm about the same thing. I had them 9-3, 8-4-ish. My question will be also, I think a lot of people talk about can Mulligan stay healthy, but nobody's bringing up can Morgan stay healthy. Morgan missed the first couple games, and then he went out again against us. He went out again against Alcorn that could have changed that momentum if he didn't go out that game. So the question to me also is, can Morgan stay healthy? Because I know they're gonna be trying to run the ball. I love I love the offensive line. I love Manny Ramirez. That's one of my top hires this year in the SWAC from Texas Southern. The offensive line coach that TC hired, Manny Ramirez, is a great coach. I love that kid. I mean, I love him. I love the kids he brought in. So I think the offensive line would be real stout up front. I even like Jack Stad receiver. I like Fabian McCray. They bring back Isaiah Spencer. They got the transfer from ULM. I like their receivers, but my like you said, my thing is getting them the ball. Consistently getting them the ball. And I think Morgan throws a good deep ball, but sometimes it's underneath routes, some of his check downs, and some of the intermediate stuff kind of gives them trouble. And then on defense side of the ball, coaching. I love Quinn to death. I think he's a great safety coach. But this is his first time as a coordinator. And he has a lot of young coaches around him. He has a lot of first-year coaches and second-year coaches, and some going from grad assistants surrounding him. And a lot of times in coaching, I thought they should have went out and got. I was happy with them hiring Quinn. I thought they should have went out and got a veteran guy to help Quinn out for when things get tough. That's my question mark with them on the defense side of the ball. Well, I think they should have changed some things from last year. I didn't like what Bradley did, and I think Quinn will do a better job. But I think he needs more support. Like I would have went and got Cedric Thornton as like a defensive line coach, somebody who's been a coordinator before. Nobody on the defense side of the ball has much experience. Not many people have much experience. And I told them that last year, and they argue with me. They argue with me up and down about the DC they had last year. Like I didn't know everything about them. They argue with me. And like again, I love Quinn. I just think they're very young on their side of the ball, coaching wise. So that'll be my only red flag with them over there. The defense, I want to see them rush the passer more and better linebackers. They bring back Jeremiah Williams. I love, like you said, Sias Guthrie, K5 come back in the secondary. So I love that. I think they just signed a kid today in the secondary that I think will be really good. So I think the secondary will be straight. It's that front seven that worries me, and just the coaching on this side of the ball. The game planning and coaching from a first-time DC. And it'll be different if TC was a defensive guy. It scares me because TC was an offensive guy. If TC hired a first-time OC under him and he's the head coach, I'm okay because he's an offensive guy. He can go help him. But TC is an offensive guy. He has a first-time DC as his defense coordinator, and he's not a defensive guy with not much experience on their staff on the defense side of the ball. That scares me with Jackson. But I'm with you. I can see him 10-2. I can see him. They got a lot of talent, so I can see him running the board. This year is really up in the air. I ain't standing on the table this year. About last year, I was telling them, y'all not going da. This year, I ain't doing it. I think it's open. I think it's wide open. Gonna come down to some tight games. Who can close the best? And so I'm with you. I got them 9-3, 8-4.
Yeah, this is a good football team, man. They got guys. They can play. Yeah, but it's about execution at this point.
Yeah, they got a lot of. I think coaching gonna be huge this year. Who can get these guys to jail the quickest? So I think that's one of the question marks I got for them.
Yep. So that's Jackson. I will say
this though: if TC comes out and like you said, start slow, Jackson gonna be on fire. They're gonna be on fire. They're gonna be the Boo Birds gonna be out. I'm telling you.
But yeah, and that's why I said worst case, man, 7-5. I don't think that that they go below 7 wins. Like I said,
Oh
best
boy,
case you can go 10-2.
if if if
So
if,
we'll
if
see,
they
man.
if they do, they're gonna walk TC out. If they lose 6 games, they lose more than 7 games. Well, if they don't win at least 7 games, they're gonna walk TC to the gate.
They might want to walk into the gate even if they go 7-5.
You're right.
Yeah.
Next
But
up,
here's Alabama State, man. All right, so the preseason pick. I know some people probably were wondering what was I going to say about this team. Okay, so last year they were 7-4, right? They lost a lot of key pieces, though. As you see here, I've got, they lost Mikey Victor, they lost Bubba Adams, and then the leading receiver, Keyshawn Johnson. Like, how do you replace that? I've got some names there. Scarborough and Burgess, man. Those are 2 DBs that are solid. It's going to be tough with these guys. One thing about Alabama State that you can depend on is they are going to defend.
yeah,
They are going to defend. Now, Andrew Body, he transfers in. Everybody sees that. Everybody knows that. But the question is he was injured last year, and now he transfers. So now how does he translate after the layoff? Right? There are some people who think, oh, well, you just plug him back in. He does the same stuff he did at his best when he was at Texas Southern. And we know football doesn't work like that. Right? And then also they got a new offensive coordinator. Chris Barnett, though, very, very, very skilled guy. That's funny. He came from Winston-Salem State. He also was at South Carolina State, but most notably, he was there at North Carolina A&T when they had those glory years. Mm-hmm. Right? So he can make a big difference for them. Right? Saunders, he is a key receiver for these guys. And also Tyquan Thomas. He's a leading returning sack man. He's a really, really strong guy on defense. So they got some guys. But the question is what can they do on both lines? Offensive and defensive lines are probably what's going to dictate how far they can go. Right? And then also, they got to take advantage of a favorable schedule. They get FAMU and Jackson State at home, and they get Alcorn and A&M on neutral. Okay, I mean, this is something. And also, they get Prairie View at home. So these are some things that they got to take advantage of. And also, they need to ride that secondary that I talked about, and also their linebackers. And they just need to find some passing game to go along with what they expect to be a solid run game. Now, as you look through the schedule, they start off with North Carolina Central. That game could go either way. I mean, especially because you're looking at North Carolina Central is replacing their quarterback. Now, they are picked to win the MEAC, but it's just one of those type of things, though. They have a new quarterback. I'm saying that I think that North Carolina Central is going to get them because I think that coming in one game, the first game of the season, I think that Trey Oliver, all that stuff, I think that they're going to beat these guys. I think it'll be a close one. I think it'll be one that you want to tune in and watch because I think it'll be a very good game down there in Miami. They avenged the loss to Miles last year. That was I have absolutely, I mean, everybody is like, how the hell did that happen? Right? Now, FAMU, that's either way. A&M could go either way. Alcorn could go either way. I have them losing in the hole. Jackson State, I have them actually winning that game. Now, my best case for them, I see them best case could be 9-3. I actually think they're going to go 8-4. Worst case, though, could be 6-6. Now, here's what can make this worst case 6-6. Body gets hurt. Uh-oh, who's behind them? Stewart transferred. Davis transferred. So you've got nobody with any significant experience behind Andrew Body. That's a huge deal. Also, what happens if they don't find their footing on offense and it becomes a struggle? If they become one-dimensional? These are some questions that you have to answer. A lot of people think that because Andrew Body's in and the way these guys defend, they think that these guys can win the SWAC. We'll see. They'll have their chances, but right now, that's what I see it as. I see them 8-4. I see them going 6-2 in the SWAC. I see them losing at home to FAMU, winning a close one against Jackson, and losing in the hole. Your thoughts, man? I know this could be either way.
This one was tough too. This is who I picked to come out the East. But listen, it was like a coin flip. It was like a coin flip because, like you said, they lost a lot on. I thought they upgraded their quarterback, of course. But they lost a lot on defense. They lost a lot in the secondary. They lost a lot on their defensive line. But they're known for replacing it. And that also brought us some really good kids on their defensive line, like in that Rico Dozier linebacker. They brought in a really nice safety transfer. My question mark would be their receiver room. I know Saunders comes back, and also the fit. With their new OC. Eddie Robinson likes to run the ball. He was saying last night on the interview he want to run the ball. So will they use Andrew Body to the best of his abilities? That's a question. That's the question I got. And also offensive line play. How would the offensive line look? But I went because I like the Body kid. I think he's dynamic. He's mobile. He's dynamic. He can make some throws. So I went with them just because of him. To be honest, but this is not anything set in stone. I think go either way. I have them beating FAMU. Actually, for us, I had them beating us in Mobile. Also, okay, so we not being biased. I had them coming and beating us in Mobile just because we coming off playing Grambling and Southern, and it's in Mobile in the state of Alabama, and I hated that, but I got them beating us in Mobile as well. So I got them winning. If I pick you to beat us, you got to be winning the conference because that take a lot for me to say. Okay, that take a lot for me to say. So I got them winning the East, and I think Andrew Body got a lot of pressure on him. I think he got a lot of pressure. I'm with you, like we always say. If it goes bad early, what does this look like?
Exactly.
If it goes bad early, what does this look like? And everything I just said go out the window. If it goes,
like I said, this is a tough schedule for it not to go right.
Yeah. This is ooh Lord. If it go bad, they lose to North Carolina Central, who's a good team, and then maybe go down there in Bethune and lose. Whoo, it might get ugly, So it can go either way. But like I said, I got around the same about 8-4. But I got them winning the East.
All right.
So next up,
FAMU. All right, new head coach. That's well documented. I know a lot of people, they like to think that, okay, Willie left and they're going to fall off. Well, generally what happens is you usually start seeing fall off like second year, if there's any fall off. And, he's going to have a new quarterback. Is it Richardson? Is it Muratovic? Is it the kid from A&T? So we'll see about that. One thing that's to their advantage, though, they kept the same OC from last year. All right, same OC, so that helps. Also, the running game. Yant and Dean. If you've ever watched these guys, they're physical and you know it. Also, they got guys on that offensive line that has played a lot of significant football. You got Grable and you got Goss. These are two guys that are as good as any offensive lineman in the league. Up there with the best run blockers and best pass protectors in the league, right? Running game will be a strength for these guys. Also, the secondary. Kendall Bowler, baller.
Yeah.
Baller. And the thing I like about Kendall Bowler, he's not a guy who I'm just going to be cute and just cover receivers. He'll come up there and he'll stick his nose in the run game. Tough and physical. But the keys here, you guys got a lot of portal replacements to go with the veterans that are back. And then he says Willie was the OC. Willie was the head coach, but they had an OC also. Same guy from the staff. All right, passing game. This was one of their keys last year. It's still the same key. They're going to be able to run the ball. They're going to play solid defense. All right. Those are the questions. Best case, because of all of the talent that they have and the continuity that they were able to keep, right? I see them best case being 10-2. Worst case, I put that 7-5 for the same reasons why you can look at Alabama State, you can look at Jackson State. If you don't get the quarterback play right, if all of a sudden it becomes musical chairs, that 10-2 or that 9-3 that I haven't projected to be, it could easily get to that 7-5 because trip to Alabama State, trip to Jackson, look out at Prairie View. So, but I have them starting off with a couple of old MEAC wins, and then they get paid, and then it's really tough to win down there in Tallahassee. It's just real tough to win down there in Tallahassee. But I do think that this 9-3, I think that you know that they're going to go 7-1, and I have them repeating in the East. But this is going to be a very difficult March, unlike last year.
Yeah, I agree. I think same thing I was saying about Alabama State. It could be a coin flip. Them Jackson and Alabama State coin flip. But I think people kind of slight Willie. I think Willie had a lot to do with it. Willie called the plays. I think Willie's an excellent play caller. I think that's going to be hard to kind of overcome. But they also lost their defensive coordinator, and he was really good. I think they lost a lot of talent on their defensive line. That was really, really good. But like you said, on the offensive line, they brought a lot back, and I love their offensive line. But just like I said about everybody else, quarterback play. Quarterback play going to be the question mark. Who's going to be the starting quarterback? That's going to be the question mark. I'm even hearing one of them running backs may not be there no more. Now, that ain't no breaking news. I ain't confirming it. I just say I heard. Okay. I ain't going to say which one, but I'm just going to say I heard. Okay.
I can tell you, we're thinking the same guy too.
Yeah. So somebody told me that. Okay. So, but I think they did a really good job recruiting, so they'll be right there. Now, they didn't lose as much as people thought they lost, but I think losing a head coach, coordinators, a lot of players, and they try to bring in all these players off the board and try to gel in with new coaches and new coordinator. I think that's tough, and I think that knocks them down a little bit in my book. But I'm with you. I got them 9-3, 10-2. I can see that, but I'm more of an 8-4. I got them sitting about 8-4. If I just had to bet on it, probably 8-4. But I wouldn't be surprised at a 9-3 and 10-2 if they gel quicker. If they gel together and gel quick, I can see it. It's tough to go down there and play, so I think that'll be hard for teams to come there and get wins. But I think they're gonna miss old Willie and the play call, and I think they're gonna miss their DC too. He was really good. I thought he should have got a chance to be the head coach as well, but that's another conversation. But,
I think that a fall off, if it does happen, I see it being next year. So I just think with the continuity and the talent that they have, that's why I went with them to repeat here in this division. But can go either way, man. Just like we said before.
Yeah, it can go either anyway. I went back like you did. I went back and forth. I picked for 1 week strong. I had FAMU gonna win these. The next week I'm like, man, I think people sleeping on Jackson. And then now I'm at Alabama State. Next week I might be back on Jackson. It's flipping either way. I think it'll be whatever coaching staff can get their new players acclimated the fastest and get off to a strong start first. I think that's gonna be I think that's what's gonna help push them to the edge.
Yep. And then you look at the next slide. That's the standings of the East. So that's what I projected to be. Gotcha. I think FAMU at 7-1, and then Alabama State, Jackson State 6-2. It's going to be a really, really tight dogfight. And then you see A&M there 5-3, and then Bethune-Cookman, and shout out to Valley.
Yeah, I just had Alabama State first, FAMU second, Jackson, A&M.
Yeah, tight.
Yeah, real tight. They can flip. I ain't taking no bets except I got one bet with my guy from Grambling. But other than that, I ain't taking no bets this year because I ain't too firm on this. Next up, the West.
All right, the Wild Wild West.
Let's get to it.
All right, shout out to Pine Bluff. Hey, we love you, Pine Bluff. Shout out to Alonzo Hampton. Hey, y'all try. Y'all fight real hard. Okay. Last year, they had big problems with being undersized on those lines. All right. They were very undersized. Now, as the theme that I've always said, every team seemed like they had every team last year except for FAMU had a how in the hell did that happen game. They trailed 30, was it 35-7 or 34-7 in the finale at Texas Southern and ended up coming all the way back and winning. Yeah. Right? That was the how the hell did that happen?
After Texas Southern upset us and ruined our season. Oh, I was sick. Oh, I was sick. Oh, I was sick.
So I do have them, they get the win against Arkansas Baptist. They're an NAIA team. But it's going to be tough, man. So that's why I say, how do you keep the faith? And how do you build something for the future? Best case 3-9, because they could beat Valley. They could beat Texas Southern. Never know. But they are definitely not going winless because they played at Arkansas Baptist. They will win that game. But the rest of it, man, I hope y'all get nice payment from Arkansas. I remember last time they played Arkansas, they got new lockers. They did. They got new lockers from them, and they got a nice little check. So, hey, shout out to y'all, though, because they are going to play hard. And that's the thing. They played hard every single week, despite the stuff that they had with depth and undersize on both lines. So, but that's Pine Bluff, man. Shout out to y'all.
See, I think Pine Bluff coach, he talked. I listened to him at media today. He talks real good. He said they were in every game last year, could have won every. He talked real good, and I love you, Alonzo Hampton, but I just don't believe. I just don't believe in that. I just can't. Listen, he talked real good. He be all fiery, and I heard some of the players say how he come in the locker room every day the same way, fiery. I just don't believe it. Yeah, I think he lying. I can't go with him. So I got him. I was gonna have him over before I saw the Arkansas Baptist. So I'm with you. I got him 1-11. Don't see him pulling out maybe Valley. That's a swing game. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a swing game. But other than that, I can't see it. I thought they looked decent when they started the season last year. I just, like you said, very undersized up front and on the defense side of the ball. Quarterback is a question mark for, but they return a guy, but he wasn't too high on skill positions. It's tough for me to even find many bright spots for him.
Yeah, because I remember last year they played Tennessee State real tough. And then it made people start thinking like, maybe we were wrong. And then they went on a long losing streak.
Yeah. And also, I can see them playing Texas Southern tough too. That could be a swing game as well. I left that one out. I got Texas Southern. That could be a swing game as well. Texas Southern.
But so that's why I have best case. Best case 3-9. Best case.
Yeah.
Lord, please don't lose Arkansas Baptist, y'all. Please don't lose Arkansas Baptist. Because that would mean you go 0-12 with losing to an NAIA team. Yeah, Don't do it.
That's bad. With the best speeches in the SWAC, because he has some really good speeches. Okay.
Yeah, he sure do. That brother man can talk.
Next up,
all right, Texas Southern new head coach, man, Dishman. We got questions, so we'll see how is he as a head coach. And also life after Owens, man. Ladarius Owens.
Yeah.
Woo, tough to replace that brother. And Quay Davis also.
Yeah.
But you got something there with quarterback, though. Jace Wilson, when he came in there, he had some good moments. You mentioned about how they beat you guys. And man, dude looked like he could do no wrong that day. Yeah. Him and Owens.
Yeah.
But defense and depth, man, that's the name of the game for them. That's the name of the game for Texas Southern. Dishman, just got to build a culture, man. Got to try to do some things down there with them. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a tough season for him. I think they're gonna start off and he's gonna play his old friend from the Houston Oilers there in the opener. Bubba, I don't think Bubba gonna have any mercy on his boy. But I think that they get 2 wins. I see Lynchburg at homecoming. Definitely you'll get that one.
Yep, they'll get that.
and maybe and I have them getting Pine Bluff at the end. Best case though, hey, if he get them going, hey, maybe 4-8, man, because you can look at you can look at maybe surprising somebody, Bethune-Cookman maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, man.
I'll tell you what about Texas Southern. They got 2 players. I like Jace Wilson. I have no choice but to like him what he did us last year. I ain't got no choice. But I think he's a decent quarterback. So I think that'll keep him in. That'll keep him from a little bit above Valley and UAPB, maybe. I really like Jacob Williams on the defense side of the ball, linebacker. I think he's probably the best linebacker in the SWAC. If I had to go out on a limb, I love that kid. Jacob Williams, he's a monster. If you ain't never seen him, that's why he made first team all SWAC.
Yep.
Preseason. That's why he's a monster. If you haven't seen him, go watch him. Really, really good kid over there. But outside of that, I ain't really seeing it. So I'm with you. I got him about 3 wins. It's best case. I got a best case 3 wins, and then maybe 2 wins here or there. But Virginia Leesburg is for sure. And then other than that, probably go Pine Bluff for sure. I hope they can get Southern. I'm hope they can get Southern, but I don't know. I'm hoping they can get Southern. I really do. I really am. But like you said, Bethune maybe. And from there, I think build for the future.
Yeah, man. Dishman, shout out to you, man. You're gonna learn. You're gonna take some lumps in this first year, but he gotta get some guys, get some talent in there.
Yeah, and I think they started the process late, and I'm always against teams that start the process late.
Yeah. So, yep.
Next up,
you can blame the board at Texas Southern for that. All right, Southern Jaguars. So old Gucci Mane is gone. So now you got Terrence Graves as a head coach, somebody that many of the folks down there didn't want.
Yep, most of the folks.
Now he's yours. Let's see. Maybe he takes that and he does something with it. Keeps a chip on his shoulder all year. Now, Noah as a quarterback for a full season, question mark, because we haven't seen it yet. Grimes. Hey, Kendrick Grimes, real good running back, but you got to keep him healthy. All right. Then Quay Davis. So he's on campus. All right.
Yeah.
What do you do with him? That's another question. But here's my keys. Play with house money. You know why I say play with house money? Because nobody's expecting you to do much. You got new head coach, new running back. New quarterback. Basically new everything. You got a coach that nobody really has any confidence in. Play with house money, man. They got some chances here. Now, I have them at 5-7, but my best case for them is flip it, 7-5, right? Because there are some games here that could go either way, right? The one at the end can go either way. You can throw them records out.
Yeah.
Also, sorry to my A&M people, the game at us could go either way. Worst case, though, 3-9. And reason why I say that low is don't find your quarterback. You play musical chairs. Here, you get the theme. Now, defensively, I think with Kelby Givens, I think that he's a very strong anchor. But here's the thing. You got to have somebody else to support him because he can draw some double teams. And he can be non-effective if you don't have anybody else out there that can play the pass. Now, rush defense, I think that they'll be solid. Defense, I think, will be one of the things that they'll have something that they can hang their hat on. But offensively, they got a lot of questions. And that's why I can't really go as far right now than 5-7.
I'm with you. I'm real. This is the most I've been down on Southern in a long time. I've been around a camp, and I'm not the only one. So I'm on Southern campus a lot, being I don't live for. I'm on Southern, and they feel the same. The mojo around the team is just not from the fans. It's just not high right now. I got them about 4 wins. I want them to be. I always root for us to beat McNeese. I just don't see them open up the season with a win against.
Yeah, McNeese. Now see the McNeese. Let me say that too. So McNeese, I had him winning against McNeese, but that was before they got the guy who played at Montana. Now McNeese, they were horrible last year, absolutely horrible last year. They won 2 games, so that game right there, I think that they can win it but that could go either way too, man. So go for it.
I was kind of disappointed with Graves with his recruiting. Mid-year they didn't do too well. Then the spring game, the offensive line was just absolutely horrible. Now they did bring in some players, but it's hard to fix a horrible offensive line after the spring game. That's too short of a time to get everybody in jail like that. So if it's horrible in the spring game, I normally kind of say it's gonna be horrible during the year. Just offensively, in my opinion, I think they should start one of them freshman quarterbacks, the red shirt freshman quarterbacks, and let them go. But other than that, I don't see the talent that they normally have. I see names, but I don't always see talent.
Right.
I think but like I'm with you, the defensive line will be good. But outside of that, I don't think they did a good job in recruiting. I'm just not seeing it. And I could be wrong. I'm just not seeing it, and it's a lot of fans that I know that are just not seeing it from Southern this year. I think a lot of it because they didn't bring in the recruiting. They didn't do a good job on the recruiting trail. Whoever you listen to, they missed out on 90% of the targets they went after. They missed out on. They missed out on a lot. They missed out on a lot of kids trying to get in. Mid-year signing day, I don't think they brought in but 2 or 3 players mid-year when they needed to bring in a lot of older guys, and they didn't. So 3 wins. 4 wins, best case scenario for me. 4 wins. I just don't see it. And I could be, listen, this is not me. I normally be playing with issue, but I could be wrong. But I think 4 wins is best. I just can't see it.
And so you see, I got worst case. What do you think about the worst case? 3, you think they could be as low as 3 and 9?
Yes, I can see it. I think this would be the worst year Southern had in a long time. Savannah State, of course, I got that as a dub. Texas Southern, Pine Bluff. Nobody else I'm standing on the table for. Nobody else I'm gonna be like, hey, I just can't see it. I don't see them out talenting anybody. I just don't see the talent. The offensive line was extremely bad, and when you have question marks at quarterback with a bad offensive line, I think you get ugly quick. So I just don't see an issue this year. And I always like to mess with them, but I'm serious this year. I just don't see it, and they might prove me wrong, but now I think they've been horrible recruiting. I don't believe in the coaching staff. I'm down on Southern this year, so they got to prove me wrong.
Man, folk up there talking about we gonna eat
but they said it every year.
Food.
They said
I know.
I told them that last year they wasn't gonna be all that, and then they wouldn't, and they got all this the coach's fault. But I told you about the coach before that. When you first hired Dooley, and I told you he wasn't gonna transform nothing at Southern, then but that's how Southern do. So yeah, so
that's Southern, man.
3 or 4 wins.
All right. Next one, man.
What froze on? Let me see. Next up, them big bad Braves.
Yeah, man. All right. So, new head coach, new quarterback. Well, here's a quote. Well, Macon's reboot at quarterback. Remember last year, everybody said, "Oh, he's gonna be the guy," and then some guy named Aaron Allen came in and he did his thing, and unfortunately Aaron Allen's not there anymore. And also you got to replace Jarvion Howard's production. Now Jacorian Sewell, that could be your guy. But here's some of the keys, man. And y'all, I hate this for y'all. That point number 1, avoid the head scratching defeat.
Every year. I just don't get it. I just do not get it. I just don't get it.
Every year there's a head scratching, man. I mean, last year it was Texas Southern. And then the year before that,
it was Grambling. The year before
that, it was Grambling. The year before that, it was
Bethune-Cookman and Texas Southern.
Bethune-Cookman and Texas Southern.
Bethune hadn't won a game, and I'm like, oh
Exactly.
god.
Exactly. So you got to be able to find your rhythm on offense, right? I think you guys got significant talent. You got significant talent. And the fact that your new head coach comes from within the staff, that's something that is a plus for y'all. Okay. But you got to find your quarterback. That's number one. If Macon's the guy or someone else, you find your quarterback. There's some things that can change. Now, you guys, I don't know who or what y'all did to have to get this schedule where you got to go to Grambling, to Southern, in Alabama State, in Alabama, and Prairie View.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a rough one.
It's a rough road, man. And as much as everybody had picked you guys, they picked you guys to win, win the West. I'm looking at those road games, man. And man, it's hard. It's hard. I really, really, I went back and forth on this about the Grambling game. I can see that one. I can see maybe a case where you have Prairie View, but I just think that you guys are gonna go 7-5, and I think 5-3 is probably where you guys are gonna reside because of that tough schedule. I just would have loved to have seen if you guys would have been able to have one of those 3 losses that I have there be a home game.
Yeah,
because then I'd be telling you a different story. Now, the best case, I see 8-4. Worst case, 5-7 for some of the same reasons why I've said for other teams. You don't find your quarterback. You don't get any rhythm on offense. Now, you got some dudes on defense. Yes. Now, you got to find somebody to complement with Malachi Bailey. Now, Malachi Bailey, 9 sacks last year, legit guy, right? Going to be one of the best defensive players in the SWAC. But you got to find some more guys. And that's where I am with Alcorn. Unfortunately, rough road. I think it's gonna be too much for y'all, man.
I'm with y'all. There was some of my keys. My question will be quarterback play. I love Tyler Make. Anybody know I love him? He does a great job. I saw him in the spring make some spectacular play, but he got to do it on Saturdays. And so we have a long lineage of great quarterbacks. So you can't. I can't put you up there just yet or based off hype. You got to go do it. He's done some really good things. He's really dynamic, but he ain't showed it yet. He had some interceptions he threw last year before he got hurt. He hadn't showed it yet, so he got to go out there and prove he can do that before I'm just 100% confident in him taking us to the promised land. And then 2, like you said, the road, our schedule is tough. It's tough. It's really tough. Some of my keys to me, I think we had a really good signing class. I say it all the time. We had the best mid-year signing class in the history of our program. In the history of our program. So all of our recruits been in since December, right? Right after Celebration Bowl, that's sign day where they've been in since January. So they come in January. All of our recruits been in since January, right? They went through the spring, so we was able to evaluate our team in the spring with the bulk of the guys there and say, look, we need this, we need this, and we need this. And that's why, like when I was talking about Southern, why I had a knock against them because they had to go bring in all these kids after the spring. We had our kids at spring practice. Learning the system, and we were also able to find out the holes that we need to replace. I think we did a good job at doing it. Like I said, quarterback play. That's my question. I think our offensive line took a step up, looking really, really good. I love our defense. I think we have the best secondary in the SWAC. I love our secondary. It's my favorite unit on the team. Like you said, who's gonna be opposite of Malachi Bailey? I think Jaden Bose is a guy that we can look for, but he got to go out there and do it. He has to go out there and do it. So I love our defensive line. We brought back a lot on defense, but then offense as well. New OC, young air receiver. Love Truck Griffin. I think he's our best playmaker. Then replacing Jarvian Howard. I think gonna be a stable, like you said, Jacorian Sewell. We got Dorian Lewis, a transfer from New Mexico State, and then Tavon Miller, another transfer. So I think it's gonna be by committee, and also having a running quarterback that can help us in that running game, having a dual threat quarterback this year. But overall, we got to go out there and do it. So I got us 8-4. 8-4, best case 9-3, and about 8-4.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. I think this is finally the year we go to ground to get that win. Um, I think this is the year we finally go to ground to get that win, but that's gonna be tough too because it's hard to go down in that hole. It's hard to go
Because
down.
we remember the
It's hard
last
to go down in that
time.
hole. I'm talking, but it's gonna be hard to go to Southern get a win. I don't think Southern gonna be good, but going there for homecoming, I think that there'll be some extra motivation. I think we're gonna have to go in with our chin strap buckled up. Alabama State gonna be a tough game. Playing Jackson. Jackson want their revenge. We got them at home, and then Prairie View. I think Prairie View right there. They
Now, last time you guys played at Prairie View, I remember you played them on a Friday. Yep. You did get them.
We got them with a freshman quarterback.
Sure you did get them. Yep. So you know that road there. We'll see how it goes, man. Yep. We'll see how it goes.
It's tough. It's one of the years where I can see it going a lot of different ways. I got a lot of trust into my coaching staff and my and the players we brought in. I love the players we brought in. So I got a lot of faith in, but they got to go out there and show it. They got to go out there and show it. So it's gonna be fun. I got that game against Prairie View being a big one.
Yes, sir.
Grambling.
All right, Grambling. Here you go. All right. I said you were going to be 5-6 last year. Some of y'all were like, this dude don't know what he's talking about. Then y'all ended up going 5-6. So
right. They're doing me the same thing this year.
So all right, questions. Rush defense. In every game that they lost last year, except for the Bayou Classic, they gave up over 200 yards rushing. Right? I mean, they couldn't stop anybody running that ball last year in the games that they lost. So you got to shore that up now with this new staff. Then also Crawley in Dooley's system.
Yeah.
How is that going to work? You talked earlier at the top of the show. You said that Dooley usually likes to have running quarterbacks. Crawley is more of a pocket guy. You know, but he has shown that he can throw on the run when needed to.
Yeah.
He's a very solid quarterback. Rush offense, you know, make sure you find your guys. I believe that they will. And then also get some receiver production. What's that going to look like? Now, you know, Robinson is a very versatile guy. Okay. Javon Robinson, I'm talking about. Javon, very versatile guy. He's going to be key for these guys. Now, Keys. You got a favorable schedule. Do something with it, Grambling. You get your biggest games in the West on your terms. You're playing PV neutral. You get Alcorn in the hole, you know, and you get Alabama State coming down there. Now, the game that will be like the swing game for me. I have that game against us, but that game is on a Thursday night. And that's one of the things that is going to make a difference why I have us picking off Grambling coming to Huntsville. And I do have them getting off the schneid and beating Southern. It's been a little while since they've been able to, you know, take care of Southern.
Yeah,
I think this will be the year you do it. I think that game, that non-conference game against Jackson State, that can go either way. I think that thing it'll be high, it'll be jacked up, it'll be a night game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, night game. I think it'll be high. I think it'll be real, real nice. You know, what they got to do, though, they got to get off to a good start. That Tuskegee game, that's a good one that they can use to get off to a good start. If they get that game against Jackson State, you can see some things starting to go in a different direction. I see that game against Prairie View as a revenge game, though. Remember, they beat Prairie View last year. As a matter of fact, that was probably the best game they played last year.
It was. Yeah, it was.
You know, they look real solid. So, but I do have them getting some games here. Best case, though, I think they could get to 8-4. Worst case, could go down to 5-7. And like that Bethune-Cookman game, watch out for that. Alabama State, watch out for that. Also, the one at the end, you know, can go either way. I do have them 7-5, and I have them going 6-2 in league play. Because one thing that you cannot understate, when you have a quarterback, you can do some things. And also, they have a very established. They have guys on that coaching staff that have been some places, that have done some things. Mickey Joseph has a pretty solid resume coming from some places. That experience is going to be key. How he works with Dooley, that is going to be a big thing.
Huge.
I think Grambling takes a big step forward this year, though. I think that just like I've said, the last couple of years, I've had them improving, each year. So I have them going from 5 wins last year up to 7, and I have them contending there in the West. Your thoughts, sir?
I differ a little bit. I don't. I'm just like I'm a little bit higher on Grambling than with Grambling and Southern. I thought Southern returned more talent, but I thought Grambling recruited better. So I got them kind of the same. But I'm not too high on Grambling either. And it ain't because I love what Mickey Joseph doing. I love what they bringing in. I just think that's a lot of turnover. New OC, new DC, new everything. Your best players at every position are gone except quarterback. Your best player at every single position is gone except quarterback. That's a lot. You don't even have your team leaders. Your team leaders at every position, your positional leaders at every position are gone except at quarterback. And then you got a quarterback whose style doesn't fit what Dooley likes to play with. That's a lot. But I will say they did a really good job of recruiting. I got to give them that. So if he can come in and give them the jail, I think they'll be good. I think Ground is a year away from competing. I think Mickey Jones gonna do a hell of a job. And I think next year they're gonna be something to look at. But I think this year I just don't see it. They lost too much talent, and I don't see the replacement. They lost some really good running backs, and I don't see the replacements for that day one. It's hard to bring in 40 and 50 new players and just gel like that. It's hard. That's extremely hard, and that's why I'm down on them. Not just from a talent point, but from a gelling point. How soon will they gel? And so I think they're gonna. You got Louisiana. That's a loss. I'm hoping they beat Texas A&M Commerce, because Texas A&M Commerce gonna be real bad. I think. So I'm hoping they beat them. But if you lose to Jackson, PV, and then we come in the hole and beat you, I think your season go. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be tough for us to go in the hole and get it done. It's gonna be tough. But I trust us to do it. But it's gonna be real tough to go in the hole to do it. And then after that, I think Bethune-Cookman, it's gonna be hard to go there and get a win. Alabama State, it's gonna be hard to beat them. And then the Southern game, they go either way. So I got them about 6-6, 5-7, like 6, 5, and 7.
So you're taking my worst case, and you think that's gonna be their record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6, 5, and 7.
Yeah, I'm kind of going boom. I'm going on the boom side for these guys, because I think the fact is that Grambling, they've been down for a while. Last year they should have been better than 5 and 6.
They should have been.
The talent was there. I mean, they made some real head scratching things, man. And coaching wise, Hugh didn't help himself.
Yeah.
But I really thought that last year they should have taken advantage of what they had. Now this year, like I said, you got a favorable schedule. That is one of their saving graces. If they can do something with this favorable schedule, that's why I'm thinking on the best side. I think they could be 7-5. Worst case, you could be 5-7 if things don't go right. So, and if they go 5-7, whoo-wee, you think the vultures were circling years before.
And so I just think that's a lot of talent to lose. That's a lot of talent. They lost like 3 or 4 offensive linemen to FBS programs. That's a lot of talent to lose. Receivers to the pros, receivers to FBS program, 2 running backs to FBS program. Your defense already wasn't too hot, and then you lost your best players on defense. Your best players in secondary, you lost your best defensive lineman, you lost your best linebacker. They lost their best everywhere. And with a new coaching staff, I just don't know. But I can't say I love the coaching staff outside of Dooley. I'm not high on Dooley. Outside of Dooley, I love the coaching staff. I love Mickey Jones. I love Chris Peters. I thought they should gave him a shot at the OC position. I love the DC. So I love the staff. I just think they're about a year away, just having time to jail, because they're doing a really good job of recruiting. I just think about a year away from jailing. And once they jail, I think they'll be better.
Yeah, that's Grambling.
PV.
All right, PV. Woo. Yeah, man. All right. Shout out to Bubba, man. He got those guys to win the West last year. More of a survival.
Right.
It was more of a survival. But questions. Lucas Coley. If he's the QB, what do you get out of him? He's that profile transfer that come from Houston. Okay. Linebackers. That's another question. They're going to be solid on that defensive line. CJ Presley, strong. Jamal Marshall, strong. They're going to be really good on that defensive line. They got a pretty good secondary as well. The question on their defense is what do they get out of their linebackers and how do they develop? Also, keys. They got to keep up that defensive momentum because their defense was pretty solid in the games that they won last year. And it kept them in some of the games that they lost closely. Offense, we've been saying this for years with Prairie View. Passing offense.
Yeah.
It's been non-existent for years. The last 3-4 years, they haven't been able to throw the ball consistently. Now, when they had Conley as the quarterback, they were more run first, right? Now, Savage at wide receiver. He is a key guy. He has the ability to transform their passing offense, but also you got to find more guys to go with them. I think that the talent that they do have on defense, and I think if they get it right at quarterback, I see this being a really good season for these guys. A lot of people thought that they should have been preseason picked to win the West. They were picked second. I see them getting off good with the win against Texas Southern. Then, Northwestern State, I see that as being a tough one, road game, but Northwestern State hasn't really been very good. I see them winning that game. Then they get paid. And then starts the kind of the gauntlet. Now, you get the Southern game at home. Last time they played at home, remember they had the brawl during the pregame.
Yeah.
The Grambling game, that's a payback game in Dallas. I see them actually getting that. I see it being a dog fight there in the Cotton Bowl. Incarnate Word, we know Incarnate Word's been pretty good. They'll play them. Commerce, like you said, that could go either way. Maybe they can get Commerce at home. I don't know. FAMU, that's another one I said is a question. Because, they lost to them twice last year. But they get them at home. It's different when you play them at home. And then Alabama State. They played Alabama State last year in the season finale. They needed to get that one to get to the SWAC title game. It was a pillow fight. But they barely got through and got it done. That's going to be tough for them this time. Now, my best case, maybe they could go 8-4. I see that Texas A&M Commerce game as the one that could be the one that can get them to 8-4. Maybe it's the FAMU game. Who knows? Worst case, though, I'll say it again. We said it many times. You don't get that quarterback situation right, and you're playing musical chairs. You can see the Grambling game be as a loss. You can see Alcorn possibly being a loss. This thing could go south real quick. It could go 5-7. Now, I don't think that they'll be like that. I think that they'll play complimentary football enough to get it done week after week to come out with a 6-2 SWAC record and 7-5 overall.
Gotcha. Well, I'm about the same. I got them 8-4, 7-5. I got them about 8-4, 7-5. I think they beat Texas A&M Commerce. Hopefully. Okay. Hopefully. Of course, I got us beating them. But my keys for them, I think I like them because they return their entire defensive line. My question mark would be their secondary. Prairie View secondary was just bad last year. It was just bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish we would have got things rolling with our offense when we played them because we could have, but that's over with. But their secondary was bad last year. And so I want to see if they got that improved. And then the quarterback, of course, that's a question mark. They brought in a couple. They brought in a couple good quarterbacks. So I want to see it on the field. I love Savage and Brian Jenkins Jr. comes back. I always did like Brian Jenkins just because his mouth. And I talk a lot.
Yeah, we know at A&M. We know.
Yeah. After they beat us last year, he ran on the field talking. I wanted to come there. Y'all didn't recruit me. And I like little Brian Jenkins and then Savage. I think he's one of the better receivers in this conference. But like you said, can they pass the ball and can they defend the pass? Gonna be the question for me. But I got them 8-4, 7-5. 8-4, 7-5. With a win over Texas Commerce. but I got them with a loss to the big bad Braves.
Yeah, and they also have new OC Anthony Whedon.
Yeah,
Shout out to him coming
yeah,
from Campbell.
yeah,
So maybe that's gonna make a difference in them with their passing game.
yeah.
I
Hopefully, I
think
think
the
it'll
West is gonna be real close
real
again.
close. Coin flip.
And you can see on the next slide, you can see how close I have it.
There it is.
And you look at it.
Close.
I got Prairie View beating Grambling in a tiebreak. 6-2 to 6-2, beating them in a tiebreak. And I see Alcorn very tight right behind them. Any one of that can flip. Just like the East, any one of it can flip. I do have a rematch of last year's SWAC title game with FAMU against Prairie View, and I am picking FAMU to repeat, but that is subject to change, as we all know. That is what I'm saying on July 31st at 9:41 Eastern.
Yeah, I haven't. I've been doing all these. I never even picked a champion. I hadn't even picked a champion. I just picked the East anyway. It's been so tough because I done been back and forth on it. I done been literally that East just told me alive. I went back and forth on everybody. Jackson State 1 week, FAMU the next, and so I got an all corner Prairie View in the West. I'm not too high on anybody else. I got all corner Prairie View coming out the West.
Yeah. Now I will say this too. This is just us, two guys that know that have been exhaustive. We've been invested in the SWAC. We know where we've been. We've seen a lot of ball. This year is a wild card. It's an enigma, as I like to say. As what people don't know, there's a lot of transfers. There's new coaches. There's new quarterbacks. I know a lot of times what people like to do, if they don't know, they just go back and just pick what it was based off of the last couple of years. Yeah. And you can't do that. And also when people say, well, like somebody saying Grambling ain't finna be no 7-5. If you don't think Grambling is going to be 7-5, say why. That's one thing that I want to see everybody start doing when you start getting into these arguments and you doing this trash talking. Instead of just straight up saying that, oh, well, that team ain't finna win this, say why. Say why. And if you don't know why, then be quiet until you find a reason why. I'm just saying for those that just like to just run off and just say stuff, but my thing here is, all in all, the SWAC is going to be very, very challenging this year, especially trying to win road games.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Yeah.
Winning road games is going to be tough for everybody.
Yeah. I think it'll be tough.
Yeah. And also, again, you get your quarterback, you find your footing. And then also, lastly, I do got to say this. I'll be remiss if I said this. I'll say it again. The only team in the league last year that didn't have a how the hell did that happen loss was FAMU last year. They were the only one that didn't have a how the hell did that happen loss. Jackson State, you had it against Alabama State. A&M, we had it against Bethune-Cookman. Alcorn, you had it against Texas Southern. Alabama State, you had it against Miles College. Texas Southern had it against Pine Bluff. Everybody has had a how the hell did that happen? Loss. And also, a lot of the teams that win these games, you're always going to have that game where you play so bad, but you find a way to win. And that's what leads to the unpredictability of the SWAC. So what we have presented before you all this evening is something that we believe is going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, charge it to our heads and not our hearts, because we've come from a non-biased nature.
That's it. And I don't always try to do that, but today I try to be non-biased. I just think before we close, I think coaching gonna be real important this year. Who can get their kids these new, because everybody got an influx of new talent and lost a lot of talent. So which coach can get their players prepared the soonest? Because if you wait too long to get them gelled together, and by the end of the year, you lost 2 or 3, you already out the hunt. You already lost
Yep.
off the hunt. So I think who can get their kids ready to go, jail into their new system the fastest. That's what I
That's
think.
it.
And that's why I'm really big on my head coach, Cedric Thomas. Y'all know I love him. I'm really big, and I think that's one of the things he's good at. That's why I'm excited about where we are. He's always showed the ability to build wherever he's been. He's built it. And I think that's what he's doing at Alcorn. So
Yep.
that's why.
That's it. So everybody's in training camp.
Yep.
First kickoff August 24th down there in Atlanta.
Yep.
FAMU, Norfolk State, and then everybody else will be kicking off the following week. Some
Yep.
people getting paid, and some people like Texas Southern and Prairie View getting it on. You know, I mean, it's gonna be nice, man. We're looking forward to this. We're looking forward to this whole season. Good luck to every single team out there.
That's not true, Coach Green. Stop it. They did not have to stop it. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. But yeah, I don't know why I don't know what football Coach Green be watching. But
yeah, man,
yeah,
we're
man,
looking forward to it, man. Me and
yeah,
you, man, this is good. This is good stuff. Me and you get together, and you know, we gonna have to get together, you
we gotta
know,
do it
for
again,
some of
yeah.
these weekly pick shows during the year.
Yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. It's gonna be fun because I think this year gonna be so unpredictable. I'm making these, but it can go either way. And I think I'm gonna have one that's gonna be like, wow, I ain't see that team coming. I didn't see that team. I think we both gonna have one like, I ain't see that team coming. And so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. And so I'm ready to do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, plug your channel before you get out of here.
Yeah, man. So From the Hill podcast, season premiere is August 13th. We'll have some people coming through. We'll be on every Tuesday. Also, I got my platform, 10 Minutes with Wild Wayne Cartwright. You know, subscribe to that, y'all. Many of y'all have seen my my posts and things like that. So yeah, man. And pleasure to be back on here with the SWAC'N the Food Crew and my boy G, man. This is fun.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate it, my guy. Until next time.
Yes, sir. Good luck, everybody. Let's enjoy the rest of the summer and go SWAC.